Late Night Health continues. I'm Mark Alyn, along with the insane Daryl Wayne, who keeps us on our toes, keeps us moving forward, and you can always listen to Daryl at latestfromthegreatest.com, latestfromthegreatest.com, and other places too. But he is on so many places, it would take the 2 hours of the show to mention them all. Maybe next week we'll give you another one. We go to London and also to Santa Monica with our next guest. Sassy Gregson-Williams is our guest. She started her company at the age of 16 and has really grown the company into something. It's called Naturally Sassy, something I'd like to think of myself as being naturally sassy. Would that be a good description, Daryl?
Not even close.
Not even close. Okay, well, Sassy...
Swing and a miss.
Swing and a miss. Okay, the baseball season has begun. Sassy, welcome to Late Night Health.
Thank you very much for having me. I think I love that. I love that you're saying you're naturally sassy. It's a great start. It's a great introduction.
Thank you. I'm really curious. You grew up as a professional ballerina, and I guess you had some problems and had to stop dancing?
Yes, that's right. I mean, ballet is an education of its own. It is everything about your body. Your body is your tool. And as soon as there are any niggles or problems, it's kind of the end of your career. So you kind of learn very young that your body is the most important thing. It's a very different way of learning about your body, but I was very in touch with the way it felt and the things I had to do to keep it on form and on point very young.
And at what age did you have to stop?
I stopped around 18, 19, but from the age of about 13, I was dealing with a really terrible ankle injury. I was going back and forth, having to have steroid injections every other month to keep it going, and so I was just kind of, numbing the pain and not dealing with it. But the most important thing was me to kind of go after my craft and be able to perform. And I didn't really know about the long-term effects of the different treatments I was having. So I had to stop at 18 because of my ankle injury. But there was multiple different things that kind of were a problem along the way, as anybody in dance or anybody that's watched something like Black Swan can imagine. As terrible as that movie is towards dance, it's quite accurate.
We're watching some of your videos right now here in the studio. I've always loved dance. I can't dance a step. I would break your toes if we tried to do ballroom dancing, which my wife now refuses to do with me. Can you dance, Daryl?
Not a lick.
Not a lick. Could you ever dance?
Everybody's a dancer. It just takes some training.
Got it. Well, we're going to come to your studio then and do that. Now, your studio is online. One of the things that interested me in what you do, because you talk about food as medicine, you talk about flexibility and building muscle. I'm more interested at my stage of life in flexibility. Can anybody at any age recreate the flexibility of being young, sitting, Indian style, as they used to call it, cross-legged, on the floor and be comfortable?
See, our bodies change, obviously, throughout life, so there's always a different degree of flexibility that we can attain, but it's all about consistency. So for me, the most important thing is taking someone where they are and being able to, like you say, increase their strength and in turn increase their flexibility, because not only are we training for, at least for me, coming out of ballet, which is a purely aesthetic art, I'm not training anybody to look good. That's a side effect. It's all about how your body functions, and flexibility is really key. So you can get there with consistency, but the longer you wait, the harder it is to get back into that beautiful seated position like you're explaining. So it's harder, but anything is possible with a lot of consistency.
You're a mom too, are you not?
I'm not.
You're
I'm
not.
I'm an auntie.
An auntie. All right. With your
the best job.
Yeah. Well, that means you get to turn them back when they.
Yes, absolutely. And
right.
I get to teach 2 young boys ballet, which is, just the worst thing for my brother-in-law.
That's what I was going to ask. A lot of your programs seem to be geared toward women, but can men also accomplish this?
Yes, they can, and we do have some men's streamers. So obviously what I did with my ballet training was kind of take the best disciplines of dance, combine it with functional training, so strength and conditioning, which is more classically what men want to do. They're not so keen on doing the kind of delicate, graceful parts of ballet, which is why we get a kind of a majority female audience. But men absolutely can, and it's so beneficial because there's really hardly any time that men are allowed to feel quite beautiful and graceful. Along with women as well, actually. I always say that when you come into the studio and when you do ballet blast, it's the only time, except when you're wearing like a beautiful dress or, you know, you're on a first date when you're trying to feel really beautiful, that you get to feel that for yourself. And that's why we do have a lot of women, because a lot of women don't feel, you know, amazing in their own skin. And that's kind of where we start with everybody, is kind of changing how you feel about yourself, because then it changes everything on the outside. So it's all about the food and the movement that you do, and how that affects your mindset. Because if you get your mind trained right, your body follows.
And starting from the outside, you also work on the inside as well.
Right, completely. So every movement, because of the grace, I think it really connects you back to you. It's kind of like dance, you know, it's quite technical, so your brain is doing a million things, but you're also having to be graceful and use your arms in a different way. We have this beautiful movement called a swan lunge, and if you try and get a guy to do a swan lunge, at first he's going to, you know, laugh his head off, because what am I doing a swan lunge for when I could just do a lunge? But then you break through that barrier, and of course not only is it working on muscles, but you're able to just embrace yourself a little bit more too. You can laugh at yourself and then also move in a way that feels unnatural, and then actually ends up bringing you closer to yourself anyway.
I've always thought that ballet dancers, male ballet dancers, are super athletes. In fact, I know that a lot of football teams train their players with ballet.
Yeah, it's all about that balance and the proprioception work, because, you know, a lot of the time with footballers, it's all the dainty little tiny movements. And that's actually something I say to nearly every guy that comes into a ballet blast class surrounded by, you know, we do live events, and we might have something like 100 women and 5 guys. And everybody looks like, oh God, like what am I going to do? Am I going to be doing, you know, a pirouette or a plie or whatever is going to happen in here? And the first time that I have new men in class, I'm like, don't worry, your favorite footballers are doing this too. And it just makes them a lot more comfortable to be there, which is quite funny.
And the lifts, which are so graceful, but it takes a lot of strength and training, and the sculpted muscles of a male ballet dancer, to me, is amazing. It's much better. I mean, they all have, you know, 8-pack abs and big chests and big arms, and they look fantastic. But their movements, I think, are graceful, and the fact that they can lift so gracefully another person is amazing to me. All of this boils down to being healthy in the 21st century. So we've talked a little bit about the ballet side. Let's talk about some of the food that you recommend people doing. You are a vegan yourself?
No, I'm pescatarian, but you know what? Just talking about being healthy.
I was born at that hospital just down the street from you. The pescatarian. Anyway, I'm sorry.
No, what I was going to say is in the 21st century, like, as you say, it's really challenging, especially with all the labels that are out there on ways that you eat, that it's almost like, you know, you get the label, so you might buy a bar that says it's vegan, but it's, you know, terribly unhealthy for you. So it's almost like we've gone full circle in terms of now everybody's a vegan or a pescatarian or a vegetarian, but, you know, not necessarily eating healthily because that they are, you know, eating a certain diet. So one of my biggest things for any client that I have or anybody that I speak to is reading the packaging. And I mean, I was shocked coming from England to Los Angeles, the amount of sugar in everything. It's extreme in the US. I think we have a bit of a sugar ban in the UK. We still obviously have a lot of sugary products, but not nearly as much, you know, shoved into the ready meals or, you know, the the meals that you eat out, even in a pasta sauce. So for me, one of the biggest things is looking at the ingredients and just not getting any extra added sugar and things that aren't going to really nourish your soul. There's kind of two things. There's nourishing your body and then nourishing your soul. So if you want that chocolate cake, that's a piece for the soul. But most of the time, you want to be nourishing your body. And
at the same time, it has to taste good, because I've said this on the show numerous times. I eat for taste. If it doesn't taste good to me, I can't eat it. Those bars that you're talking about, if it has fat or sugar or chemicals in it, I can't, and it doesn't taste good, I can't eat it. I taste it, and why would you want to? There's a million delicious things out there that are also going to be great for your body. So eating something that's kind of, made with a bunch of chemicals and it's got, 25 grams of protein isn't actually going to serve you, and it's not going to be delicious either. So you're just going to end up even hungrier than you were before. We're going to take a time out and then come back for some more conversation with our guest, Sassy Gregson-Williams. She's the founder of Naturally Sassy, and she's got all kinds of things, including an app that she created last year. We'll talk about the app, we'll talk about the delicious plant-based recipes, and of course the stretching. So while we're taking our break, I will be stretching my limbs, lifting my arms high as Late Night Health continues. Please join us at latenighthealth.com, where we'll have a picture of Sassy and links to her website. Don't go away, more coming up. There's a lot of talk all over the internet about the remarkable benefits of Carbon-60, and baby boomers are especially excited about it. Greska's Carbon-60 is the premium Carbon-60, developed by an aerospace and NASA scientist. 95% of Greska's customers report positive results from this Nobel Prize-winning technology in just 4 days. Imagine more energy, better health, and more vitality. It's very bioavailable to quickly mend toxin-crippled cells. This is a super powerful antioxidant. Bob Greska is so confident that you'll love his Carbon-60, he wants to send you a bottle at 50% off the regular price to see how life-changing this will be for you. Call 720-600-6040. That's 720-600-6040. Visit c-60.com to learn more. Call 720-600-6040 now or visit c-60.com.
The latest from the greatest, the best in new music by classic rockers, with your host, the insane Daryl Wayne.
This is Alice Cooper, and if Daryl Wayne is insane, what does that make me? Criminally insane. Stick around to find out.
Many of the artist interviews for the latest from the greatest have been captured on audiobook. There is a Volume 1 and Volume 2. Great information and conversations with people in the industry and people surrounded by the industry, and of course the rock stars themselves.
I'm the Reverend Al Green, and you're listening to the insane Daryl Wayne. And I said Wayne Insane.
You can find it on Amazon or Blackstone Audio. Search for the latest from the greatest from Daryl Wayne, DARRELL WAYNE.
Hello, this is Weird Al Yankovic, and you're listening to the insane Daryl Wayne, aren't you?